Hello, Internet. Today I'm reporting to you from my closet because it is just so fucking loud outside. Alright, today I wanted to talk about my experience getting a 3DS in 2021. I feel like I picked the absolute wrong time to get this. Like, I saw it was discontinued and hard to get, and then I was like, oh well, I've been thinking about it since it was cheap and easy to get, but now that it's going to be a pain in my ass, I need it. One of the things that interested in me most about the 3DS was its access to a bunch of legacy content. I got the Switch last year and I love it, and it's still my primary gaming system, but I was interested in going back and revisiting some older stuff, especially because it is so cheap right now, and the 3DS rather, seemed like a really cool way to experience some older games from the DS library and from its virtual console. When I first got this, it was bundled with a couple of other games I'll mention later, and it was black, and I did not like it. I thought it was supposed to come with an adorable Pikachu case, and they decided it did not, and I was a little bit upset, especially because it turned out that cases for the 3DS are impossible to find. Every cute case I found was like $60, $65. A whole bunch of them you just couldn't buy. You couldn't buy the Pikachu case I thought I was getting anymore. Turned into a whole thing. So I ended up just getting a clear case off of Amazon and then a bunch of stickers, and I decided I still hated the black, so while the stickers were in the mail, I ordered a skin from Sticky Bunny. As you can see, it has a few problems. It was a little bit tricky, but kind of meditative and nice to put on. I'm pretty happy with it, and I'll link it below. And picking a bunch of skins out. Right now I've got the Pokémon one on. I love playing, that's one of the things that I most wish would come to Switch from the 3DS. I would love the virtual console, a few of the cute social things, and the themes. I mean, look at this. It changes, it spins. I don't know, it's just so cute. They're like animated and they have their own music and little noises they make, and I just love it. Because I'm a giant sucker. We're gonna experience that together. Just how much of a dweeb I am, and just how much of a sucker for some stuff I am. Especially aesthetics. It's bad. I've got this. I've got a couple of Animal Crossing. I've been eyeing the one that's like craft paper and pictures of Kirby. It's just been pretty fun to pick out, and they're a couple bucks a piece, and I don't notice it, and it's bad. On the thing that most breaks my heart about getting to the 3DS late is that I don't think I'm ever going to get a StreetPass. The StreetPass, for those of you who don't know, it uses the Miis from like the Wii era, and then it was supposed to, in some way, you could play various games when you crossed paths with each other. You would send a bunch of data, and it would let you see other people's Miis and like what they were playing, and they would help you out in various games, including a little like adventure game that was exclusively with the Miis, and you just went through with various characters that you collected along the way, which I have yet to experience. I've never seen the light glow. I've never gotten a StreetPass. I always leave it on. I always toss it in my bike bag or like my coat pocket if I'm taking a walk or a bike ride. I'm forever hopeful. Don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think I'm ever gonna have a StreetPass, and I live in an urban center. Like, I pass quite a few people, even though I'm trying not to with COVID, and I think everyone else has moved on from their 3DSs, but it's fine. It's just this 3DS and me, taking breaks from bike rides and playing some Pokemon Puzzle League. The coolest things, or the games that I'm surprised aren't on Switch, and kind of annoyed, because I would honestly rather play them on my TV, are, Earthbound, for the, originally on the SNES, which is available on the Virtual Console, somehow for a little bit more money than anything else on the Virtual Console, along with the reboot that I have of Ocarina of Time, and some of the Pokemon, like the original Game Boy Color games. I just wish those would get carried over from the Switch, like a while ago. They're really fun, but they're not quite, like, they look good, and there's a couple of 3D features I really like, especially the Game Boy games. You're able to hit select when you boot them up and have them in native pixel mode, and that means that they are like this. They have a little border of the Game Boy, and since this is a 3DS and not a 2DS, I'm able to turn up the 3D and have it look like it has the depth of an original Game Boy, like it's sunk in a little bit. You can't see it on camera, but it looks pretty cool in real life. And it's my favorite way to play old Game Boy Color games, since I only have an original Game Boy Color to play on, and it doesn't have a backlit screen. And the D-pad is insanely clicky and weird. I don't love playing it. So that's been really fun. I've gotten to experience a couple of Game Boy Color games. I went ahead and grabbed Pokemon Puzzle Challenge because I used to love Pokemon Puzzle League on the N64. I'd play it with my mom. So I'm still pretty good at it, and I'm making my way through like the really hard leagues where they just dump a bunch of trash on you. And that's just fun to play like while I'm sitting and drinking some coffee for a sec, or, you know, when just a little game to play. I also picked up one of the Harvest Moons for Game Boy Color on here, which I thought it was cool that it had, but then it ended up being that the female player character could only raise cows, and I have to restart it, and I don't know. It's cute though. I'm sure I'll end up playing it eventually. I have to be in the mood. I need to just settle into Earthbound. I've got, I think, 4 RPGs started, and I need to just actually play them and get them done and then move on to the next one, because that's always the best way to experience the adventure. I also have Pokemon Crystal, as you saw, which I'm excited to get back into, but part of me doesn't want to ruin like my childhood memories of it, because that game was always really special to me. Another cool feature is the Badge Arcade. Once it's supposed to be like pay to play, but you get 1 free play a day, and you get little badges to add, which I think are kind of cute, but I'm really obsessed with the little icons. Like, here's one of Isabelle using like the connectivity stuff, the download play, and you can get them for various system like included games, and I think they're really, really cute. Another thing I want from Switch. So I've been playing that every day, and I get really upset when it like pretends to pick up the one I want and then gives me all the other ones like knocked over, and I don't get the only one I wanted. Every day it's just a little frustrating. I highly recommend. So that's it for features. If you want any of the stickers that I've got, they're mostly from independent artists off Etsy, and I'm gonna link them down below along with the Sticky Bunny skin, assuming it's still available. This one is glorious. It's got a Furby, and it says, "I will face God and walk backwards into hell," and he's my icon. My charms are really old. This one was on my DS in high school. It's Blanca the cat, who would wander from Animal Crossing town to Animal Crossing town, asking you to give her a face, which is creepy, and why I loved her enough to pester my friend into giving her to me. And then this one's just a little cheeseburger from a place that used to carry lots of Japanese import stuff by my house. And it jingles. As you probably could hear. I still have not found like a case or any really cute, I really, really, really want this set that has little cat paw stylus, and then there's a little cat-shaped silicone 3DS case with little cat ears and a little face, and I'm obsessed with both of them, and they're both going for like $90 each. And then I haven't picked any of that, and I haven't really picked a bag, so I've just been using more of my old high school DS stuff. I've got a Palkia that I got from pre-ordering Pokemon Diamond. Don't question it. And then this little guy from a con. It's got both shamans, that I think is the cutest. It's getting stained, and that breaks my heart, so I don't use it that much. And it's only got one tiny pocket for games, so it's not quite as useful as I really need. I should just go ahead and pick one. There's a Legend of Zelda one that's pretty cute. I know. There's Legend of Zelda stuff that's pretty cute, or there's still some Mario stuff available, but I'm just refusing to make up my mind, so I can use that in the meantime. I also picked up just a cheap little case off Amazon, because none of the ones I wanted were available. Here's some more stickers. Got otters, got Totoro. The Totoros are off of a pack of like 100 I got off Amazon back in the day. These are a different pack of 100 from Adventure Time. Then this was a pack of like 50 otters, and then a set of bananas from back when we had stores. It's just bananas, donut, bow, and mouse. Oh, and they're what are on the inside of my DS as well. Talking about games, I have a couple. What really intrigued me and ended up annoying me about the system is all the Pokemon games. I really wanted to get my Pokemon off of my DS games. Like, I have a bunch of event Pokemon and I kept not wanting to get rid of them, but I wanted to replay the old games, so I thought it would be fun to move all of my Pokemon up to Pokemon Home. It was an adventure. It ended up being I needed to use Pokemon Moon to unlock the Pokemon transporter that would allow me to get my Pokemon off of Pokemon White. Then to get them onto Pokemon White, I needed to bust out my other DS, like my original launch DS, not 3DS, pair it, play a really annoying minigame, get them on, and just to get them onto Pokemon White. So I finally got them onto White, and then I could transfer them towards, I could get them, like, onto the Pokewalker, the Pokemon Transporter. And then I needed a $15 subscription to get them onto Pokemon Home, and then another subscription to get them onto the Switch, which wasn't worth it. That app is so cheap it doesn't even have animation. It's just static images of Pokemon. I'm hoping that the new Switch games are fun, so that it'll be actually fun to have my old Pokemon on those games. Yeah, anyone watching who thought that it would be really fun to get a 3DS to do this, it's really annoying. I'm thinking about modding my 3DS in order to just yank my Pokemon files onto the SD card. That's how I'm trying to save a notch-eared Pikachu, because it's made it this far. I don't want to kill notch-eared Pikachu. Or Pichu. It's a notch-eared Pichu. It can't be transferred off Heart Gold. So I'm thinking I'll just mod the system. Honestly, from what I've seen, if you're thinking about doing anything with Pokemon transferring, Pokemon saves, and you don't care about getting them onto Sword and Shield, I would highly recommend just modding your 3DS. It would be pretty simple if my stupid MacBook had an SD card reader. That's a whole... My grudges against the Pokemon Company and Apple are too long and boring to get into right now. With a little bit of a legacy content, I ended up getting this copy of Ocarina of Time, a game that I've never played even though I had the right system for it. I'm a shitty Zelda fan. The only game I've ever completed is Breath of the Wild. I liked that Breath of the Wild had almost no puzzles and, like, dungeons. They're not my favorite. I don't know. They don't really work for me. It's really, really cool that other people like them, and I'm trying my best to slog through the Fire Temple right now. But I always find myself getting bored when I can't, like, go adventuring and exploring and finding new stuff, when I'm just having to sit there and be like, where was that hallway that needs the key? I'm lost again. And I'm underground, and I just don't want to be doing this. So, this is a really great remake from, I mean, I guess I wouldn't know, but the characters look really, really good. The land looks really good. It's intuitive to use. They should definitely bring this to Switch during the Zelda anniversary. I swear, Nintendo, I'll just buy it again. You don't need to be so weird. Really fun. I'm looking forward to getting the one for Majora, another game I haven't played and always hear stuff about. So this is a really cool series. If you are a big Zelda fan and are thinking about picking up a 3DS, you see a good sale on one, these are like $10 or $15 a piece. Highly recommend. Next one I got is Happy Home Designer. Eventually I'm gonna get New Leaf. I'm really looking forward to New Leaf, but I know it's just gonna eat my life, so I want to get through some of my backlog first. But I got Happy Home Designer. I was in a slump. It was winter. I was kind of depressed, and it was really nice to just have a game where I could design little houses and, like, a hospital of nothing but froggy chair and just make little happy animals happy and design pretty homes, okay? I was down. I was very down. It is definitely a specific mood. I'd love to see more Animal Crossing spin-off games in the future, even though I know everyone hates Amiibo Festival and most people aren't that big on Happy Home Designer. I still think there's a lot of potential there, and it's kind of fun to see. Monster Hunter Generations. I apparently am too soft for Monster Hunter. I'd never heard of it at all. Like, I wasn't familiar. It came with my 3DS, and I was like, oh, what's this game? I'm gonna check it out. So it opened with a really cool cutscene of heavy cat people, like, in an airship, and then, like, oh no, it's crashing. What kind of cool adventure will I go on this airship with these cool cat people? Like, ooh, I can't wait to be a cat person. Like, I bet they'll let me choose to be one. This is gonna be fun. None of that was relevant. So I had to pick a sexy anime girl, and then she was just on, like, an MMORPG quest to get fern pieces with no context. And then you had to stab cute dinosaurs, and I was just sold a false bill of goods. I wasn't down. I know. I'm casual, and I am a poser, and I suck, but maybe I'll give it another shot. There's a spin-off game that seems a lot cuter and more up my alley that I'm probably gonna buy when it comes to Switch. I've forgotten its name. Because I'm only in it for the cat people, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I wanted the amiibo. Bit.Trip Saga was one I ended up checking out. There's a project going on right now to make kind of a pixel art version of Melee, or of any of the Smash Brothers, but with nothing but indie game icons and, like, figures. And one was the little Bit.Trip guy, so I was like, well, what game is he in? He seems cool. And I found this new on Amazon for only $10. So I thought that was super neat. This isn't a series I was familiar with, even though it was on Wii, apparently. This comes with a bunch of different games. So far I really only like 2 of them. There's a really cool version of Pong, where all of your actions in all of the games sync up to music, and then as you get better, the visuals start getting really, really elaborate, and the song gets really cool, and it's all set in space, and it's really awesome. There's also an infinite runner. That's where this guy comes in, and it's, again, the same idea. You just run, and you dodge obstacles, and it starts getting more and more complicated, and the visuals start getting prettier and prettier as you, like, get better. And it all syncs up with the music, and it's just kind of a cool, relaxing experience that I think is really fun. And it does have the 3D capability, which I understand why it's not a big selling point and why you would get a 2DS instead, but it can make some of these really dazzling. Like, the pixel art and 3D looks really cool, and I really like it for playing the older games. So I've been happy that I have a 3DS instead of a 2DS. That might change. I'm still only a couple months in. Then the thing I was most excited about, I hadn't picked up Shovel Knight yet, so I got this awesome physical copy for my 2DS, or my 3DS rather. It's the full game because they were nice enough to have the rest of the campaigns as free downloads on here, even though they don't come. I have not gotten confirmed if it's compatible with the Arby's promotion. I'm a little bit upset. I was gonna make someone eat Arby's for me and get the toy. I'm really, really obsessed with Plague Knight. He's so beaky. So, what I love about this one, and I mean Bit.Trip, but there's just something special about this one since it's got NES vibes, and it's got the full instruction book inside. It's got all the cute pixel art, it's got little instructions, it's got the campaign, and I'm a giant sucker for inserts. I wish they still did them, because they were always my favorite. I would open the cardboard boxes and, like, read the insert on my way home from Toys R Us when I'd get a new Game Boy game back in the day. And so it's really nostalgic for me. A few games I picked up in the case. I grabbed Okami Den. I have not played it. I thought the controls would work really well on the 3DS, and I like the chibi art style. Then I immediately lost interest in it because, as established, I'm bad about actually playing my RPGs. Professor Layton and the Curious Village is way harder than I expected it to be. Yokai Watch I'm saving for a video I'm planning about Bandai Namco's Pokémon likes. I just find them really interesting. I picked up Yokai Watch, and I've picked up the remaster of Ni no Kuni, and they do really interesting things with the formula, and I wish that they would be given the chance to, if not make a mainline game, make one of the spin-offs. Like, I wish they were in charge of Arceus, the Arceus spin-off game. That would be, they seem like they really are good at making this kind of stuff. And then I have Mario 3D Land, which is really fun and seems like it'd be great in little short bursts of play when you are just out and about. A thing I never am. Overall, I think it's really a great time to buy a 2DS or a 3DS in 2021 right now, between the cool modding scene that I'm trying to learn more about and just the cost of the games. Like I don't think I paid, to get white I paid $65, and then nothing else was probably above 30 or close to 30. A lot of these, I think Shovel Knight was more like 15. Bit.Trip was 10. Because this was new in the box, so I could get the amiibo card, this was a whole, like, 15. They were really cheap. I got a bunch of this stuff off the site Mercari, who has, you can get them loose, really, really cheap. The one game that I wanted to play and bought and never showed up off Mercari is Ever Oasis, so I still plan on buying that, and I'm pretty excited for it. It looks really, really fun. Most of the hardware is really nice. If I were doing it again, I would get a regular 3DS, the names are so confusing. If I was doing it again, I would get a new 3DS, but the regular size. Those are the only ones that have a faceplate. So what those were little interchangeable pieces of plastic that you could put on the front, and they still have a whole bunch of them available, even in the US, at really reasonable prices, and they're really cute. So I wish I was able to get that. I don't think it's really worth having the bigger screen and being heavier, but that's just the deal I found. I think this is a great time to get into it. It has a lot of legacy content that you cannot get on the Switch, and it's got a bunch of really fun games. It even has the start of, like, the indie game revolution, and you can still buy stuff on the eShop, and easily around on the internet. It's been really fun. So if you're getting a little bit tired of the games that are on your Switch, I know we're in a little bit of a rut at the beginning of the year, I would 100% recommend getting a 3DS even in 2021. Thanks for watching.